Don't call it a comeback. Today we're going to be talking about all the big exciting Marvel projects for 2025, and I'm going to give you my picks for some Funko Pops that I think you should pick up right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I, for one, am very excited for all of the Marvel projects coming up in 2025. Thanks to D23 Brazil, a few weeks back, we actually got some updated trailers for some of the huge projects, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts, and I'm going to give you every single, or at least one pop for every single Marvel project that's coming out in 2025, with the exception of one, because there's no pops for that particular character. We'll get to that later in the video. But let's start off by talking about the project that I am hands down most excited for, and that is Captain America Brave New World. Now, this is coming to theaters on Valentine's Day, February 14th of next year, and we finally get to see the return of Sam Wilson's Captain America. He was Falcon, now he's Captain America, and there's a lot going on in this movie, and I've heard some rumblings of some reshoots and stuff, so I really hope that they nail this one, because I think it's going to be a critical one moving forward in the MCU. We're going to be seeing Harrison Ford suit up technically as the Red Hulk, which is going to be crazy, but there's one particular character that I feel like nobody's talking about, who only has one Funko Pop to date, that I think you guys should go out and grab because it's actually very affordable for the shared sticker, and that is none other than Betty Ross's character, aka Red She-Hulk. Now, this one was a San Diego Comic-Con release from 2017. They've only come out with one Red She-Hulk to date, and there was actually pictures that surfaced of Liv Tyler, who played Betty Ross in the original Incredible Hulk movie. She was actually spotted on the set of Captain America Brave New World, so I have a hunch that she is going to be in this movie. Now, is she going to Hulk out and turn into the Red She-Hulk? We don't know, but I think what Marvel is moving towards in the next few years is a World War Hulk movie. Mark Ruffalo has stated several times, and now that Marvel actually owns the rights to the Hulk and the Hulk characters, that they could potentially do a World War Hulk movie. Now, for this pop, the shared sticker is only $15, so very affordable there. The con sticker is a little bit more on the pricey side, coming in at $95. But with this one being her only pop, if she does show up, this one will no doubt spike a little bit in value. Next up, let's talk about Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man, and no matter how much content they put out, I feel like people can just never get enough of Peter Parker, and that's exactly what they're doing. We actually have an animated Disney Plus series on the way, and it's actually coming very soon. It's going to debut on January 29th of 2025, and this is Spider-Man Freshman Year. Now, what's unique about this animated series is it's actually going to give us more of Tom Holland's origin story, as it's going to be following his arc prior to his arrival in the MCU way back in 2016's Captain America Civil War. And there is one particular pop that I think you guys should go out and grab, because this version of his suit was actually spotted in the trailer, and that is his homemade suit. And then this one was actually based on his version from Spider-Man Homecoming, but it is very affordable to this day. Even though this pop is 7 years old, it's only $23 as far as the value, which is very affordable, I feel like. And with this series due to come out and give us more backstory, not only just on Tom Holland Spidey, we're also going to be seeing a lot of very familiar faces in the Spider-Man world. I think a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this series, even though it's animated and everything, just because there's a lot of big Spider-Man stuff happening specifically with Tom Holland in the next few years. So I feel like people are really going to enjoy going back and learning more about his origin arc, even though it's animated. Now let's talk about arguably the biggest project of 2025, and that is none other than Fantastic Four. Finally, Marvel's first family is coming to the MCU. It's going to be dropping in theaters on July 25th, and without a doubt, there is one specific character that I think everybody should be picking up for their collections right now. Obviously, if you don't have a Mr. Fantastic, if you don't have the Thing, if you don't have Human Torch or Sue Storm, definitely go out and grab those. However, there is a pop right now that is heating up quite a bit, and it is due to a mega announcement that we got last summer, or this past summer, for San Diego Comic-Con, and that of course was Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU, and he's going to be playing Doctor Doom. And the one particular Doctor Doom pop that you guys have to stop what you're doing, and make sure you have it for your collection if you are a Marvel fan at all, is the Fantastic Four line Doctor Doom. This one is currently valued at $29. However, it's selling for $35 to $40, and I think the prices are going to start reflecting its more accurate value on Pop Price Guide within the coming months. And we are still 6 months out from this movie, actually 7 months out from this movie. So there is still a lot of time for this pop to dry up on the market, so don't be behind the curve. There's going to be Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday that are both going to be having Doctor Doom be a big part of both. And Kevin Feige actually came out and said with the Fantastic Four movie, Fantastic Four First Steps, none of the major characters are going to be dying off or being lost somehow in the film. So we're going to see all these major heroes and villains, despite the big conflict in the film, they're going to be moving forward and present again in future MCU projects, which I think is very smart of them because I'm sure they're going to want to sell a lot of Fantastic Four collectibles and merchandise. Now let's talk about the major Marvel blockbuster movie that's going to be happening before Fantastic Four, and that of course is Thunderbolts. Now I feel like Thunderbolts is going to be the sleeper movie of the year. I feel like it's the one that people are going to go into the theater with zero expectation and come out absolutely loving everything that happened in the film and all the characters. Now, unlike Fantastic Four, it has already been stated that at least one major character will not survive whatever events are happening in the Thunderbolts movie. And to give you guys a little brief backstory on the Thunderbolts team, it's actually going to be comprised of John Walker, aka the US Agent, Yelena, who is the new Black Widow in the MCU, Red Guardian, who we saw in the Black Widow movie. He is his father, or her father, of course. Then we have Ghost from the Ant-Man series. If you guys remember her, she was the main antagonist in the second film. We also have Winter Soldier, plus a few other characters. So I'm really excited to see Bucky making his epic return, and from the trailer footage, it looks like he is back to being an absolute badass like we've seen prior in the MCU. Now, the one specific pop that I think you guys should go out and grab right now for your collections is actually Yelena. Yelena is the sister of Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and there's actually not that many pops of her to date. Now, she did appear in the Hawkeye series, but the pop that I think you guys should go out and grab right now is the white suit Yelena from the Black Widow movie. At one time, this pop was trending for well over $100, and I think that was just due to some inventory issues that Funko was having where this pop was not equally distributed to all the retailers and partners. So there was only a few of them on the market, and that's why the pop was so high. Plus, with it having this issue right around the release of the Black Widow movie on Disney Plus, you know, obviously that added to the interest of this character. But this pop has since come down, and it's only valued at $18 currently. Now, they're likely going to be making new pops based off of the characters from the Thunderbolts movie. However, I think this version of her is actually really unique, and I doubt we'll ever see her in that white snowsuit again. Never say never, but I just feel like it's highly unlikely because the way Marvel likes to do things is with each movie that comes out, they like to upgrade everyone's super suits and give them new outfits as the MCU phases continue on. So I would definitely grab this one. It's one that I need to pick up, and Florence Pugh actually does an amazing job portraying this character. And man, just when you think things can't get any crazier, I mean, we're talking about Spider-Man, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Captain America. The next project that we have to talk about is Daredevil Born Again. The first half of 2025 is just stacked for Marvel, and Daredevil Born Again is going to be premiering on Disney Plus in March. It's going to have 18 episodes with some amazing actors reprising their roles. Charlie Cox coming back as Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio coming back as Kingpin, and we also have John Bernthal coming back as the Punisher. This show looks like it's going to be absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait. Now, let's talk about somebody who I really want to see have an epic return and rise, and that is, of course, Kingpin. We saw Kingpin briefly in the Echo series as well as the Hawkeye series, but I have a hunch that Marvel wants to bring things down to ground level again, and they want to use Kingpin as the mini big villain that a lot of heroes are going to be fighting. I would love to see Spider-Man fight Kingpin, of course, but I feel like he's going to be the street level baddie that a lot of these characters and heroes are going to have to face off against before we get to that Avengers level threat with Doctor Doom. And I really think that they're going to have Kingpin maybe become the mayor of New York and then eventually president president of the United States after Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross is done as president. Now, in regards to Kingpin, there's still not that many pops of him, and the one that I think you guys should go out and grab right now is the Wilson Fisk Kingpin pop from the original Netflix Daredevil series. This pop is heating up again. At one point, it was valued at quite a bit. It was going for almost $100 about a year ago. Now, right now it's trending for $48. However, it is selling in the neighborhood of $55 to $60. So I just think there's not that many of these on the market, especially if you're trying to get one in near mint condition. And I think it's just a character that Vincent D'Onofrio has portrayed so well, but I feel like they still haven't scratched the surface with what they can actually do with Kingpin, just because he does have so much depth and story in the comics to pull from. So I'm excited for Daredevil Born Again. I think it's going to be a huge show come this March. Now let's talk about a TV show that I feel like not a lot of people are excited for, but it could surprise us and have some potential. And that, of course, is Riri Williams' character from Marvel, aka Ironheart. And I, for one, am ready for some more Iron Man, Iron Family content in the MCU. Unfortunately, it looks like Armor Wars was completely canceled. They're not going to be doing that series, so that is a bummer right there. But we are going to be getting Ironheart premiering with 6 episodes on Disney Plus starting June 24th. And I really feel like they could do her character justice, because if you guys recall, Ironheart was in Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther sequel, and I feel like her story arc was a little bit rushed, and as a result, a lot of people just weren't as excited for her character, and it's not really her fault. She was thrown in the mix with so many other big things going on. I mean, handling Chadwick Boseman's death within the MCU, introducing a critical villain like Namor. I mean, there was just so much going on. I really felt like it wasn't fair to her character to actually add her in as well. So now I'm hoping they can really fully develop her character and give us a reason to be invested and to root for her. When it comes to Ironheart, there aren't that many pops that they've made of her to date. However, I really think that there's one that you guys should go out and grab for your collection, and that, of course, is the Mark I Ironheart suit pop. This one only goes for around $12 to $15, so you can pretty much pick it up for retail. This was a part of the Wakanda Forever pop line that they did come out with. The reason that I'm suggesting this one is because, if you guys recall, in Wakanda Forever, the suit that she got, they actually took it back, and she had to leave it within Wakanda, and now, of course, based on the events of the MCU, she's back in the United States. So it would lead me to believe that she's going to be using remnants of this suit, or maybe recreate her own version of the Mark I again before moving into, you know, upgrading her suits throughout the series, and we see her build and tinker the way Tony did throughout his time in the MCU. So I'm excited for this series. I don't know if it's going to perform as well as some of the other blockbuster movies and shows that I just talked about, but nonetheless, I really think it's a character who has a lot of potential moving forward into the MCU, and maybe it will set up, you know, other storylines for Iron Lad and War Machine and all kinds of, you know, exciting things there. And if you didn't even know that Marvel was coming out with an Ironheart show on Disney Plus, then you probably didn't know that they're actually coming out with an animated Eyes of Wakanda show as well. This is actually going to be a 4-episode series debuting on August 6th, and I actually read up on this, and it sounds really cool. So it's going to be about following several characters throughout the Black Panther history and Wakanda's history as they search for vibranium artifacts and attempt to either rescue them or steal them or recover them from other characters. And I really think that this has a lot of potential just to be its own cool Marvel show without having to be so much tied to a lot of the other projects going on, where with the other projects, they unfortunately have to be cognizant of what's going on in the overall MCU. But with this animated series, it just could be a fun show on its own and something that's really enjoyable to watch. And there's one character who, without a doubt, has to be a mainstay of the show, and that is Black Panther's father, T'Chaka. Now, they've actually only made one T'Chaka Funko Pop to date. It was a Funko Hollywood exclusive that came out in June of 2021. When it first came out, of course, it was going for around $50 to $60, but today you can actually pick it up for only $21. So pretty affordable, and I actually think it's really cool. The color scheme, the fact that they made it a Funko Hollywood exclusive, it just makes it a little bit more special there. So this is actually from the first line of the Black Panther Pops, and I think it's a really cool one. I have this one in my collection, and I think without a doubt, whatever's happening in the Eyes of Wakanda series, if they're sending people out either to the outskirts of Wakanda or outside of Wakanda, who are they going to be most likely reporting back to? Like, who is going to be overseeing these missions? Probably T'Chaka. And my last recommendation for today's video comes with another animated series that I think a lot of people are actually looking forward to and know about. This is the Marvel Zombie Show. This is going to be coming out later in 2025, debuting on October 3rd. It's going to have 4 episodes on Disney Plus, of course, and it's going to be a spin-off from the Marvel Zombie characters that we saw in the What If series. So What If is going to be wrapping up very soon with its 3rd and final season, and we did see a couple episodes, I believe, in season 1 of What If, where several main Marvel characters became zombies, and then there was a small group of survivors that were trying to fight them off and, of course, you know, continue surviving. But there's one Marvel Zombie Pop that I think you guys should go out and grab because it's a little bit more of a unique one, and it's a character that I have a feeling is going to have a more prominent role in the Marvel Zombies animated show, and that, of course, is Zombie Magneto. Now, the reason that I think he's going to have a prominent role is because I did some research into the Marvel Zombie comics, which are actually very popular, so hopefully my comic people can back me up on this, but apparently the zombie version of Magneto in those comics is a pretty big deal, and I have a feeling that they're going to be bringing him into the show for 2 reasons. The first reason being he was a big player in those comics, and the second reason being, you know, X-Men. X-Men is a character, or a group of characters, of course, that Marvel is expanding more on. We had the X-Men 97 series get revamped and everything, and we're going to be seeing more mutants overall in the live-action MCU moving into the next few phases. So I really think this pop is a good one to go out and grab. It's a really cool mold. He's actually floating, and at one point, this pop was pushing $85 to $90. Today, you can pick it up for $29. It was a Funko Shop exclusive that came out way back. When did this one come out? This came out in 2020, so it's understandable during 2020 when everybody was on lockdown that this was a pretty popular one, and that's why it skyrocketed in price. Now it's come down to a more reasonable price, so hopefully you guys can be able to pick it up to complete your Marvel Zombie sets, which overall we do not get the Marvel Zombie Pops in collections as frequently as we used to, so clearly people are either holding on to them or they're just not selling them to us. But I don't see them very often on, in Whatnot streams and on Macari as much as I used to. So I think people are trying to complete their Marvel Zombie collections because it's just a really fun set to have. But that is all my recommendations for all of the major Marvel projects coming out in 2025. It's a lot, but I gotta say I'm really excited. I think the last few years have been a little bit more on the lackluster side, and it wasn't content that got me excited. It just, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home and Daredevil and Deadpool and Wolverine, we weren't really rushing to the theaters. We weren't really rushing to Disney Plus to finish the shows and, catch up on all the characters and everything. So I really hope that changes. I hope we bring back a little piece of the old days with phases 1 through 3 of Marvel and bring them now into phase 5 and moving into phase 6, where people are talking about the characters. They're excited for the overall story arc, and just overall amped up for where things are headed with Marvel. And I think we're going to get some of that moving into 2025. There's also some other projects I'll briefly mention. Of course, we have Kraven coming out in the theaters next week. There is a Wonder Man series coming up. I didn't talk about that because they haven't made a Wonder Man pop yet, and they may not make a Wonder Man pop yet. There's also a Spider-Man Noir series that's going to be happening on Amazon Prime at some point in 2025 as well, with Nicolas Cage playing the role of that main character, so that'll be interesting. And then the next big project that, of course, we have that a lot of people are looking forward to is Beyond the Spider-Verse, the 3rd part in the Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales animated movie series. That, unfortunately, has been delayed to 2027. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be talking Spider-Verse stuff anytime soon unless there's like a pop that takes off on the rise or something. But those are my picks. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you have any of these for your collection? Are you currently hunting down any of these? I really think that all of the ones I talked about today were very reasonably priced, probably within a majority of people's budgets, and if you're looking for them, I would try to grab them sooner rather than later, because when all the Marvel stuff is in the news and, you know, it's in the theaters and everything and everybody's talking about those characters, that is definitely not the time to buy something. You want to buy something when no one's talking about it, so that way you can get a really good deal, and that way you have it when everybody is talking about it in the very near future. But since, guys, today is Monday, it is time for our weekly Monday Motivation segment. Every single week here on the channel, we like to bring you guys a small piece of Monday motivation to help kickstart your week and get you through the toughest day of the week, which is typically Monday. Now, believe it or not, I still can't believe this, actually. It's creeping up on the middle of December. Christmas is just right around the corner. Before you know it, it's going to be New Year's, and you're going to see all of the New Year's resolution content and everybody talking about what they're going to be doing differently moving into 2025. And before we get to that phase, we of course will address that and talk about ways to make some positive changes or to improve whatever you want to improve in your life without, you know, making it seem like too much of an uphill climb. I want you guys to take a moment, just briefly reflect on everything you've done in 2024 and be proud of wherever you are. If you started out in 2024 and you feel like you are way better than where you were in January compared to now, then, you know, kudos to you. Or, you know, if you're better now here in December than compared to January, you know what I mean? Like, kudos to you. Like, that is awesome. If you've stayed the same, if, you know, a year has gone by and you feel like your life is exactly the same, you didn't get to any of the changes that you wanted to make, that is okay as well. And I'm also going to speak to the other third unfortunate part of this spectrum here, and that is if you feel like from January until now, your life has just gotten worse. You feel like you haven't made any positive changes. Things have happened out of your control and you're just upset about what's going on. Trust me, I have been there. And when it happens, it's very frustrating. There are portions of stuff that's happened to us this year that I am not happy about, and I really am upset at how things played out. My health, for example, I did not think my health was going to take such a nosedive this year, and it was something that I had to put so much time. Actually, I've never put more time and more focus the way I have into my overall physical health than I ever have in my life, and that's just something that I'm not happy about, but sometimes life deals you a hand that you have no control over. Now, in terms of other aspects of our life, you know, maturity-wise, adult-wise, like Joanne and I purchased our first home. I am very happy and very proud of us from that aspect. Now, financially, we were definitely better a year ago than we are now, even though we own a house, because we're now house poor, right? So from that aspect, I'm not happy and I'm not really proud, but it's a give and take. There's certain things I'm happy about, there's certain things that I'm not happy about, so we're kind of right in the middle. So wherever you fall, if you're better, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. You should definitely be proud of yourself. If you're right in the middle like me, where there's some things you're happy about, there's some things you're not happy about, it's okay. Like, we have reason to be, you know, upset, but we also have reason to be proud and excited, and there's things that we can do to change us for the better moving into 2024. And if you're all the way over here where you're like, everything sucks, I don't know what to do, I'm super stressed out, things haven't gone to plan whatsoever, I have also been in that position, and I hope I can be a little bit of a light to give you guys some inspiration and some motivation to help get you to the second level. Can't get to the first level where everything's positive and good and everything. You got to get to the second level first before you can get to level number one. So that is my Monday motivation for today. I apologize if I'm a little stuffed up. Unfortunately, another thing that I'm not proud of, the heat just broke in our garage, so that's another fun expense. We got to call the HVAC guy and have him come out and fix the heat again, which is a bummer because he's been here 4 or 5 times, and every time he comes is another bill. So it's just our life in a nutshell right now. But I'm very excited to go put on another jacket or a hoodie so I'm not as cold. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you guys tonight over on Whatnot for our special Christmas show. Very excited for that. So as always, don't stop shooting until you score, and we'll see you guys tonight.